y'all? It's your boy Jay back at it again. Today we got The Pressure to Be Cool Is Destroying Us by Prince Henry. Y'all know what the deal is. Follow me on both Jays here and Jays there. Without further ado, let's get right into the video.
Bro, you know a nigga think he swaggy when he do this. Everybody chilling. He do this. Look at his phone for, look, 1, 2, 3 seconds. Lock it, put it back in his John. I don't know. I might go home. We just had the most fun in our life.
No, I ain't gonna lie. Niggas do be doing that shit, though.
What are you saying you about to go home for? What you going home for, bro? Stay. Y'all think I should stay? I don't know, bro. I just be tired of outside. You trying to be different so bad. What that even mean? Stop. Shut the fuck up. What that? Shut the fuck up, she.
Nah, niggas do be doing that shit. Like, man, I don't know if I should go home for real. Nigga, if you don't want to be here, then go, nigga. Be like, yeah, I'm finna head out. Like, don't try to, like, create this ore farming shit.
Oh my god, you not hot shit.
So, being cool. Focusing on being cool caused a problem in my life that I didn't realize it was a problem until I stopped focusing on it. For me, cool became a very performative thing. It was something that always kept running in my mind with anything I was doing. It started to take over thought. It wasn't just the way I present in the sense of cool clothes or cool cars or cool music taste. It wasn't just those things. It started to seep into other areas of my life. So, how did this all get started? My first memory of truly realizing what cool was and focusing on it, or preparing to, basically what started this journey down caring about what was cool was when I was in middle school. It was 6th grade. And
I think that's when most niggas start trying to be cool. Because in elementary school, you can't really be cool. The most cool you can be in elementary school is being the fastest nigga in recess and I guess having like the best books at the book fair, but that's it. Because elementary school, you really don't care about external validation like that. However, as time goes on and you want to have that external validation, everyone think you're so cool, that's when niggas start trying to do that ore farming. Niggas start trying to do and say shit just to be cool. You feel me?
You know, you're leaving elementary school and you're going to a whole nother building with older kids. So before middle school, this is 5th grade on down. 5th grade, you're either 10 years old or you're 9 going on 10. At this time, I wouldn't say cool wasn't a thought, but it was more about like how good of basketball you were or how good at this video game you were. Like at this time, like you didn't really care about girls, or at least for me, let me speak for myself. I didn't care about girls at this time. Like I had like girlfriends and stuff that was like you just had the title or whatever, and it was like it crossed your mind, but it was really like video games and basketball for me. 6th grade, going into middle school, I remember it like it was yesterday. I went school shopping. My dad took me to Burlington. This is honestly like the first time I had went to Burlington cause I usually get shoes with my dad and my mom handles like my school clothes or whatever. My dad usually just gives me like some basketball shoes or something to take me to like the Nike, like Foot Locker or something like that, Champs or Finish Line or something. But This year, for whatever reason, he took me to Burlington to get shoes. And I'm used to just getting like 1 or maybe 2 pairs of shoes for the school year. And, you know, if you're going to like Foot Locker or whatever and you're getting these shoes, these $100 shoes or whatever, you can only get 1 or 2. So he took me to Burlington, and within that same budget of the 2 shoes at Foot Locker, going to Burlington and getting shoes equaled, you can get like 3, 4, 5 pairs of shoes because these shoes ain't nothing but $20, $30. And so I'm like,
that's the steal, bro. I mean, a lot of niggas, cause like I feel like shoes is the one thing niggas spend hella bread on to be cool. But the thing is what I realized, you don't need to have the most shoe collection to be cool. Yeah, I mean, shoes is nice when you first feel when you take them bitches out the box. You do feel like you that nigga, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. You get some new clothes, you wear a new fit for the first time, you feel like you that nigga. But that's only relative. You feel what I'm saying? Like you can't put all your status in being that guy and shit that you wear.
all right, cool. At this point, I'm not really like caring about clothes or caring about any of this stuff. I'm just getting it, like just getting the shoes, getting out the way. And like, so I'm picking shoes that I thought looked cool. And I was happy with the stuff I got. I was ready for the school year. I had my clothes ready to go. And I end up going to middle school, and that Burlington was a huge mistake that I made that I didn't know at that time. Until I got to school. So I end up choosing, and my dad doesn't know, he not into this or whatever. He just get me whatever he said, go get the shoes you like, and we got them. That's how I got them. And I ended up getting some USPAs, or back then they called USPAs.
Oh, yo, Don with the USPAs. Yo, I'm never gonna get that fucking Young Don animation out my head where that nigga said the USPA. I'm never ever gonna forget that shit, bro. No, the USPA. No.
Which is basically the poor man's version of Ralph Lauren. And you you would get treated ruthless in middle school if you had the fake polo on.
Boy, bring that ass here, boy.
And I had like 2 or 3 USPA shoes that I had got from Burlington that I thought was cool, thought was good. And nah, that just, it wasn't it. And I remember like instantly they find that out. I don't know if it was like the first week or second week. I knew it was very fast into the school year that I found out like that's not the wave. That's not what you're supposed to be having on. And I instantly stopped wearing them. I stopped putting it on. Like I didn't wear them shoes at all. I think I had ended up getting like some Levi shoes also at Burlington, which was okay for whatever reason. So
Levi made shoes for
I used to wear the Levi shoes and then like some like my basketball shoes or whatever, and to pass time until I was able to get some more shoes. Like I said before middle school, I did not care about clothes for real. Like I didn't care about shoes for real. Like outside like some new basketball shoes or whatever, like I didn't care. My dad didn't get me the Jordans, all that stuff. So I wasn't even in that universe of caring about clothes. But this was a defining moment to where I started to become conscious of what people deemed acceptable in how I presented myself. And so reassessing my school clothes choices and realizing that the stuff I picked wasn't cool. Like none of the clothes I got was cool because I didn't even care about clothes. I think my mom just went to like JCPenney's and like, or just bought some stuff. Yeah, I think that's what we just went to like I think she just went to JCPenney's. Like I cared so less about clothes that my mom could just go and get whatever clothes and I would just put it on. Like if it fit, I'm just throwing it on. And throughout the year I would find like a favorite shirt that I always had on. But I didn't care about the clothes that much to really judge. Like I care about what I put on, but I didn't care about shopping and all that stuff. And so once I realized that and reassessed what was cool, I started to see, and that's when the following, I think my birthday came up in like November of that school year. It's either my birthday or Christmas, which is same time. This is like my birthday in November, so Christmas is the following month. So in that time period, I instantly shifted to start caring about clothes. And that's all I had wanted for either my Christmas presents or my birthday presents was I need some.
Niggas was really walking the longest, most baggiest. Obviously, it wasn't this shit, but niggas was really rocking the baggiest t-shirts in the early 2000s, wasn't it?
New shoes and some new clothes. because what I have is not it. And what was in was Aeropostale, Ralph Lauren, so not the USPA, not the fake polo. Ralph Lauren was in, and then you also had Adidas shell toes are in, and like the Adidas sweatsuits, like the old Run DMC like sweatsuits, like those are in at that time. And and Converse, like Chuck Taylors were in, like the low Chucks were in at this time. This is 2010, 2011 of my 6th grade year. It's 2010, 2011 or 2011, 2012. That's my 6th grade year. It's somewhere in between there. And Chuck Taylors were in as well. And I remember getting a pair of Chuck Taylors. I ended up getting a pair of shell toes. I ended up getting like Aeropostale because Aeropostale was cheap. So I just told my mom, like, yeah, Aeropostale's in, and she went and looked at the price and was like, oh, okay, and got me some Aeropostale clothes. And I ended up getting polo as well, because the way to get polo for cheap was you would go to TJ Maxx or Marshalls and get it for like $35 a shirt, which was, cheaper than going to like Dillard's and getting the $60 polo shirts. You get the same collared shirts if you go to Marshalls and TJ Maxx for them. And so this was like the origin of me caring about being cool and how I presented. And this was kind of the start, which seems like innocent. It seemed like, it's fine. You're growing as a person. You started caring about different things, whether you cared about girls or you cared about your social status. All these types of things started to kind of fill into my young, impressionable brain at that time. And that was when I realized like being cool or like clothes and all these things weren't just expressions. It was really like social statuses with
niggas will a lot of time niggas will buy clothes. I think that's a lot of time. Niggas will buy clothes so that they can feel cool. Like, oh, how would X, Y, and Z, like how this girl think if I wore this, da da da. And there's definitely a part of it. As someone who likes to buy clothes and is into fashion and shit, I've definitely had experience where it was like, whoa, people like this, or will this look cool? But I realized it's like, I shop primarily for what I think is going to look good on me. Like, I know that because I have an athletic build, I can pull off the kind of, the anime, tight t-shirt, baggy sweatpants. I can pull that off. I can pull off kind of like the football varsity jacket look. You know what I'm saying? And when I'm purchasing clothes, I'm thinking, how will this make me feel? How will I look with this? Now, obviously, there's a teeny bit of how will other people look, right? Because deep down, some part of us cares about how other people view and think of us, right? That's just natural. Humans are social creatures. However, your focus shouldn't be to always focus on what other people think, because, we see all the time, the more you focus, you put into external what other people think, the more unhappy you become.
In school. So like if your parents was able to get these things and you was able to get these items, it gave you like social currency within school to where people thought you was maybe cooler. They thought you could dress nice, and it made it a little easier to socialize. I also played basketball, so that also helped a lot in being cool, but clothing.
Playing a sport, especially if you're on the football or basketball team, massively boosts your clout.
Helps just as well. Like there's been plenty of people that's been on basketball teams that if they didn't have certain social things or certain people didn't view them.
Smile? Go back.
Basketball team.
This is the first time in the Boondocks I've seen this nigga even crack a little bit of a smile. I had to rewind that. This the first time I've seen this nigga smile. Even sorta.
That if they didn't have certain social things or certain people didn't view them as cool, it didn't matter. It helped, but you needed the other intangibles as well. And so that was like the origin moment of realizing it. And this followed me all the way from 6th grade all the way up to college. Like it didn't stop. And I'm just now realizing, like, as I'm making this video, as I was working on the script for this video, I just was realizing, like, oh, that was a defining moment and how it connected to everything else that I'm gonna get into.
It reminds me of Venom, the character. The blob starts off very small. So that's us as kids. Like it always starts off as performative as a kid. You're just trying to find. So that gets into you. And then over time, the venom ends up engulfing his whole body to a point where you're like, I don't want to be performative anymore, but at this point, this is just all I know. This is who I am at this becomes your identity at this point. Even when you try to shake it.
Who are we speaking about exactly? Everybody?
The ones we're saying that can't let
I
it.
think to an extent there's some truth in what he's saying. I don't think everybody is super performative and just doing stuff for other people. But I think that there's a good portion of guys and girls out there who do shit primarily because of what other people view. Like, they'll say or do stuff just to get attention. You feel what I'm saying? I think there's some level of performance in all of us, right? But I do think there's definitely more performance actions and beliefs in other. There's definitely more of that in other people than there is in some others, if you catch what I'm saying.
They go. Gotcha. That seem to can't let it, no matter what. I gotta be cool at church. I gotta be cool at work. I gotta be cool around my kids. I gotta be cool when I go to their parent-teacher conferences. I gotta be cool, of course, when I'm out with the homeboys.
That's more of a want
club.
of wanting to see venom in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? Rather than actually taking over you, it's more of a, I want to see just something different in the mirror because I don't like what I see in the mirror.
And so within this performance of this performative action of being cool and really caring about what other people deem as cool, I started, doing things, which is not nothing necessarily wrong with the items or changes as you grow. It was just kind of the mindset within picking the things you do. I started to realize was a problem. So I started wanting a different haircut. I had the same haircut since I was a kid, and until I got to a certain age, I started wanting different haircuts, cooler looking haircuts, which is fine. There's nothing wrong because having a nice haircut is good, and especially one that fits you and fits your style. All that stuff is very important on looking good and presenting and all that kind of stuff. But I also started kind of being very conscious. As I got older, I started to realize I was more conscious of how I talked, what lingo I use, what slang use, what is deemed as cool way of talking. Just trying to really be very performative on cool, which I realized I didn't have to try that hard, and it wasn't with everything, and it wasn't every waking moment. It's just I started to realize that there were moments, small moments or parts of my life or a time where I'm in my head about dang, why did I say it like that, or dang, was that lame how I said that, or whatever. Because and that's one of the biggest things. It's being cool is the positive side of it, but if you're not cool, then you lame, and nobody wants.
I feel like being cool can definitely boost the way you view yourself. External validation feels good no matter who you are or what you think. I honestly believe that shit. When niggas say oh yeah, well, praise is a good motivator, that's true to an extent, but it's when niggas think, oh, you look great, oh, you making these plays, oh, you doing da-da-da, it's a huge motivator, especially if we're talking about short term for you to get on your shit. To keep getting on your grind and keep doing what you need to do. However, you can't get too attached to that because that praise may not always be there. Let's say you do something and it's lame or it's considered lame by other people. Now you feeling bad about yourself, you in your head, things of that nature. You can't rely on that external shit to feel good about yourself.
Wants to be lame, and that was a huge avoidance. It's you're running from being lame by chasing cool. That mental mind fuck of it all is where it started to really affect me in other aspects of life. You start to really care about your friends, your group of friends' expectations, or either how they view you or how you want them to view you. Which is dumb because you can't control how people perceive you. But when you're chasing cool, that's a huge thing in your mind of making sure the people around you or in your community or in your circles view you as cool. And one of the biggest things I started to see as this kind of because I feel that 6th grade moment buying the USPA shoes and changing was the small kind of catalyst of me growing and of it growing into other aspects. Also, as I was growing as a person and getting older and learning myself and just, developing. I think it kind of grows. So I kind of look at it like a little circle of all right, this is me just chasing cool. This is the small impact. It's just clothes and just shoes. This is the small impact that it has on me. And then I felt like it started just growing into these other other domains, other areas where like I noticed it. I used to produce music and I just stopped very recently, but I used to produce music. I used to produce beats, and I had a YouTube channel where I was posting tight beats and rappers would download my beats or buy them off of BeatStars. I realized that this whole cool thing started to affect my creativity because it got to a point where I would be making a beat and I would kind of keep myself in this box of what was already proven as being cool. So whatever this style was, or whatever this way of arranging the beat or instruments using or the sounds used, I would just watch other people on YouTube that was like recreating popular songs that was already made. And then I would just kind of trap myself into this proven idea of what sounded good already and that was already acceptable and was already cool. And there'd be moments where I'd be like, I'm gonna try to be creative, and I could never just like what I did and think it was cool for what I did. It always kind of felt less cool automatically because it was different than what was already proven. And that's when I started to, that's kind of, as I look back, that's kind of a huge thing I seen. It reached a really huge point of me focusing so much on this chasing cool that it started just affecting my creativity. And it sucks because you almost get to a point where you're now filtering your creativity on what you perceive other people is going to like and dislike, which is not a huge problem, but it is not a great thing to have. It needs to be a balancing act on what you're doing, making sure you like it, make sure you're making choices for yourself. And also you can consider what other people's opinions, especially when you're making art, because it's not just you enjoying it in a bubble. You want other people to like it, enjoy it, and that kind of thing. But you still need to do what's best for you and what you...
100%. I don't think there's anything wrong with trying to be cool or trying to have that image, because obviously your reputation and how people view you matters, right? Niggas can say, oh, I don't care how people do me, but your reputation, how people view you, how people think of you matters. I'm not saying you gotta think or should think about it all day, every day, but you should definitely move in a way that would be beneficial to your reputation and how people view you as a whole. However, I definitely think that when that idea of I need to be like X, Y, and Z starts to negatively impact your creativity, your work, you're only making content that's popular or trending, that's definitely when you can put yourself in a box.
Wholeheartedly believe in. And that whole cool thing limits that a lot. At least it did for me. And it wasn't that I wasn't being myself when I'm like around people or anything like that. Like, it'll be moments where I just realize and catch myself that I'm like filtering myself or just diminishing myself in a way to just stay in this cool persona or cool box. And that affected creativity as well. You start to second guess unique ideas. You end up making just safe choices to fit that cool narrative, and that just kills creativity.
We're Gymshark, the gym.
Yeah, for sure. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I've definitely done or said things just to be cool. I've 100% done that shit before. I ain't gonna lie.
So this is the thing. The most lame people I've met in my life is the people that always want to look cool. If you're really cool, you know how to be transparent with your feelings and what you want in life. I was around people that was faking it and acting like nothing bothered them.
Yeah,
and you don't even
validation. When you chase validation in that approval, that's when you start to lose it.
want to know where they are now. If this is you, or you know someone like this, you want to help them or help yourself. Learn to be transparent with who you are to the people that you love, or you will lose them. It's one of the lessons I've learned myself. So to cut to the chase, you want to save yourself the misery by being who you truly are. And yeah.
And a lot of that stuff is peer pressure. So what happened to me in 6th grade, is a lot of it was peer pressure. I had originally, because if we go back to that story, I originally liked the stuff I picked when it was just me, myself, and my thoughts with just my dad and me in the store, no outside opinions, no idea of how much something costs and that equaling bad or what other people's perception of the thing was. I picked things out that I had liked, and then I was excited about them, put on the outfit, went to school, people told me this wasn't the thing, and I ended up convincing myself I didn't like the things I originally picked, which then made me follow what other people would said was the cool thing and started just picking those things. And I basically killed all my self expression or things I liked at that point. And I was younger, so I'm 10, 11. Like, this is like, you're very impressionable. You haven't figured yourself out yet. You're still young. So that was like the first start of the being cool. It was like peer pressure made me just change the stuff I liked to match the things that everybody else already deemed as cool and what everybody else liked. Social media happened around when I was in like 7th, 8th grade. Like, social media was around like MySpace, which is, I was a little too young for MySpace, but I was on Facebook, and then Instagram came when I was in like 8th grade, 7th, 8th grade, middle school. Instagram came, and social media doesn't make it better, like, at all. We don't need to get into it right now.
That shit exacerbates that shit, because you just see the coolest niggas known to fucking, man. They got niggas glazing them and shit. Like, social media has significantly increased niggas' comparisons, bro. And that shit is the theft of joy, to be honest, because you constantly comparing yourself. You never gonna be happy with what you have. But I'm not saying don't strive to be better, don't strive to improve. No, I'm 100%. I 100% believe niggas should strive to always improve and better themselves. But at the same time, there's times you need to appreciate and be thankful for what you have or what you've already built.
But social media does not make it better. And like I say, it's understandable. Like, coolness is a social currency. If people think you're cool, it holds a lot of weight in the engagement, the attention you get from people. Maybe the attention you get from people you're interested in, whether it's a girl, boy, whatever it may be. Like, having that cool social currency definitely helps your perception, people's perception of you and your perception of yourself. But it does cause the problems of losing your original feelings and thoughts about things you like, dislike, about yourself, or about like just art, things in general in life. It hurts that, because that's when everybody just becomes sheep, and it just filters everybody's opinions on things, because you don't want to be lame. Like, you don't want to be the lame person, so you just sit in this safe, cool spot. It's tough. I think it's just a balancing of things that people already like and balancing what you like, and just seeing what people like, seeing what you like, and probably finding a balance or making choices of like, I think this is really good what I decided. I think people over here tripping, they late yet. They don't see what this is, or looking at what people already like and like taking from it and saying like, okay, I see what they like about that. Let me see how I can intertwine that into what I already like and what I already got going on. Because I'm not gonna tell you to just stop trying to be cool, because I have, like, it's not realistic. We're, as humans, we want to be accepted. We enjoy community. We love community, actually. And within community, you want to have that social currency. You want to have that social ability. You want to have that perception that people like you, and because that's really what it all boils down to, is being liked versus not liked. And we all like community as humans, and within that community, you don't want to be the person that people dislike. So within that, the word cool comes up, and you want to be the cool person, because the cool person seems like the person that is the most liked. And the weird thing with it is, a lot of the things that are deemed as cool can actually be cool. Like, that could be a reason why people gravitated towards it. Like, it could actually be cool. But the real problem is when you get so wrapped up in everything that is cool, that cool becomes the filter for everything in your life when you're deciding stuff. Because that's what happened to me. All those things, it got to get to a point where you just do what you think is cool. There's not nothing wrong with looking at the crowd, seeing what is they're deeming as cool, but it's also just finding that balance to make what you work and have your own voice, because at the end of the day, that is really what's going to be considered cool. Because all the things that people are gravitating as cool is somebody at the top of that mountain doing their own thing, and it's coming natural to them, and people underneath are saying like, oh, that is cool, and it's just becoming like a little pyramid of people following these different different individuals. That's when terms like trendsetters or icons, all these other things where people are leading the thing that other people follow. And so trying to break away from that, seeing what they like and creating your own thing. And that, I think that's the best way to kind of get out of that mental gymnastics of being cool and finding the coolness within yourself. So that's all I got for this video. Let me know in the comments.
Hey, my nigga. Shout out my dog. You know, this was a very good video. I definitely think there's nothing wrong with wanting to be cool, but when you start only doing shit for external validation, that's when you start fucking up. Shout out my dog Prince Henry. This was a good video. But with that being said, it's your boy Jay. Stay healthy, stay wealthy, and stay blessed. And I'm out.